Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros, a speaker, a coach, and an author. And I like to share little tips, tools, techniques, nuggets, stories, reminders, anecdotes, things that have helped me move the needle to get me to those new places of health and happiness for whatever arena or space that I'm in my current life. So I'm hoping that by sharing them, you can put them into practice, and then by putting them into practice, they'll also have benefits for you. So today I want to talk about my yoga mat. Well, not specifically my yoga mat. When I was 10 years old, I fell off of a 5-story building and I broke my back. I crushed 7 vertebrae in my back. And by doing so, I was told as a youth that I would probably never walk again, definitely never dance again, and that my spine would not be able to handle the weight of a child. Well, doctors will say what they want, but I chose a different story and path. Obviously, right? Not only do I dance every day and I have a child, but I was able to defy that diagnosis or that determination of the rest of my story. What is real for me, though, is that I do have some residual issues when it comes to my back. So for me, I have to set a curve into my upper neck area, my cervical part of my spine, and my lumbar part of my spine every day in order to just not be in pain all day, because my spine doesn't naturally have that right now. So I have to set this curve into my neck. And I find that on days, if I ever am rushing and I skip it, I can feel the difference and the muscles start to spasm, and then I'm in pain, and then I'm just not able to be my whole self because I'm managing, right? And a lot of times when we're in spaces of survival, we're not able to fully live in spaces of thriving. Those two things can't really coexist, right? Because our attention and our focus becomes about the survival part, the managing of the pain. So for a long time when I was younger, I would whine and complain to myself and really anyone else who wanted to hear it or didn't want to hear it or didn't even care about how I had to carve out this extra time to set my neck and to set my back, and I had to do these stretches, and I had to do physical therapy, and I had to go to the chiropractor, and I had to maintain my weight because my spine can only handle so much weight, and blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, it was such a whine fest, and not like in the good way, right? Just constantly complaining and whining about things that were necessary. And then one day I got sick and tired of hearing myself whining and complaining and said, okay, Maria, enough. What is the goal here? The goal is to maintain my mobility. What needs to happen in order for me to maintain my mobility? I need to have more muscles that support my spine. I need to be strong enough in my body. I need to also be aware that if I gain too much weight, because I gain weight at the bottom half, it pulls on my spine. I end up having sciatica. And when I'm in pain, I'm surviving, not thriving. And my goal is to thrive, right? So this is the reality of the situation that you're currently in. You can either keep whining and complaining about it, or honor and accept it and carve out the necessary time to make it a priority. So because of the years of whining and complaining and realizing that that was not benefiting me in any way, mentally, emotionally, or even physically, I was doing all of the things and I still felt kind of meh in my body. And it was really because our psychology and our physiology are intertwined. So if I'm telling myself this sad, sad story about woe to me, my body is feeling the effects of that, right? So I had to change my mindset around this work. And so I decided to say, okay, my focus is going to be on my mobility. So what do I have to do to maintain my mobility? ... Great. And at first, it really was just about getting the things done, making them a priority, and checking them off so I can relish in the benefits of mobility. And then as time went on and I learned more about growth mindset and I learned more about myself, I realized that I don't have to just do them for the benefits of them. I can actually enjoy what I'm doing while I'm doing it, right? That's also an option. There are always things and chores and tasks and to-dos that we need to get done for our lives to continue to function in a healthy way. And in order to do those things, we can either approach them from a place of meh, I have to, or all right, I get to, and let me see how I can make more fun out of this, more joy, how I can bring either another thing to couple with this to make it more a space of more ease and flow, right? So in particular with me, when I have to set my neck on what's called a dental roll, it's a cut piece of foam that has a curve that when I set my neck on it, it puts a curve in my neck, right? So when I have to do that in the mornings, I couple that with meditation. So I can lay on my dental roll, I can set this curve, do this traction basically for my neck, and I do it every morning with my meditation coupled. At night when I do it, sometimes I do it for meditation, and sometimes I do it and I'm listening to an audiobook, or sometimes I do it and I'm listening to like a podcast or something, right? So I'm still finding ways to find joy, to couple the space with something else that is also going to be beneficial. Or sometimes, let me be real, I just take a little nap, right? I just take a little power nap, because rest is also productive and necessary, y'all. The point is this. There are things in our lives that we have to do, and we can either tell ourselves the sad, sad story of woe to me, look at all I have to do, or acknowledge and accept that it needs to get done, and then flip the script basically and say to ourselves, okay, so if I have to do this anyways, how can I bring more joy, more fun, or just a more positive mindset into this space? Because it needs to get done. It's a priority. And then in doing so, over time, what I found was not only was I feeling better in my body, but because I had this new mentality about it. It wasn't something I have to do. It's something I get to do to maintain my mobility. It made me feel more appreciative of my mobility throughout the day, and I just felt better overall, because again, our psychology and physiology are interconnected, right? So if my mind is in a better place and now my body feels good because I'm taking care of it in the ways that I'm supposed to for my mobility, now I feel like I could dance through everything and everywhere, which is why I do, right? So I want you to think about for yourself, what is something in your life that you have probably been telling yourself this sad self-pity, woe to me story, but the reality is it's time to accept and honor what is, and then take the necessary steps to move the needle. And then when we're done taking the steps and we created a practice, really look at it and ask yourself, how can I infuse more fun, more joy, or something else into these spaces so that it doesn't just feel like a chore? Right? I usually listen to an audiobook when I'm washing the dishes, because I love audiobooks and I hate washing dishes. So it helps me ease the thing that I don't like to do but need to do, and couples it with something that I do enjoy doing. It could be as simple as that, right? What is it for you? So that's what I have for you for today, to help with your growth mindset and to help with like an authentic practice of positivity in our regular everyday lives. That's all I have. I hope this was beneficial. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please go ahead and share it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you can get the notices saying like, oh, Maria posted another video. This might be a nugget that I can put in my pocket for later, or not. I'm just adding it to the buffet. You do with it what you will. That's all I have. For real, I'm done. Enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. I'm sending you light and love, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace!